Nashville in Middle Tennessee, you think of the music. Iconic bars. High-heeled disco ball karaoke, you think of the food. Fried, piping hot, smothered in barbecue goodness.
You have a great day. Thank you very much for coming.
For a very long time, our cameras have been capturing the people behind all that. The people who make this city great. We do thousands of stories on those people every year, which we've kept in archives, spanning tapes to DVDs to online. And for the next half hour, we're taking a look back.
I'm Forrest Sanders. I want to bring you a few stories, snapshots into the lives of just a few of our favorite people. And we're going to start with a story about how something so simple can sometimes have the most profound impact.
If you have something to do that's meaningful, you're going to live a lot longer.
A very old picture captures Glenn Hamilton King sipping a Coke on a Rhode Island day in the late 1930s. No idea the roads his life would take him. He served during the last days of World War II, just before the headlines of Japan surrenders. With the Marines, he traveled with President Truman, became a missile manager at the Army Missile Command. A totally quiet life was never going to be quite right for this kid, now grown up.
Everybody's got to do something with their retired time or their day is terribly long.
Living in Murfreesboro at 89 years old, King's life has taken yet another road. Perhaps his most unexpected.
Hello. Since you're the little one, you get to pick out the first one.
Glenn Hamilton King is the teddy bear man. He collects bears year-round and finds them homes, giving away a staggering number.
About 4,000.
But today's stop maybe means the most.
I've got somebody to keep you company. It's been so lonely. Yeah.
At Community Care of Rutherford County, King introduces new friends.
His name is Yogi. Boo Boo, I don't know why Boo Boo at, but this is Yogi.
The nurses tell me that after I've given them the bears, they don't go any place without the bears. It's something that I kind of treasure. It needs to have somebody to give it a hug. It wanted to come in here and find somebody to hug it.
King loves these moments, that realization.
I gave it to you.
You did?
Yes, that's for you. It's an indescribable feeling, the emotion it brings about in a person.
Now I can cry. I like these. I am happy. This made my day. Thank
good,
you.
Good.
You.
And while the kid in that old picture certainly couldn't have guessed all the roads he'd take,
I've had a bear that's been so lonely.
Really?
It needs somebody to give a hug to.
Oh, well.
Can you give a hug to that bear?
Yes.
King says this road couldn't be more rewarding.
Good.
And they all need a home.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, these people is indescribable and so sincere. So that makes you feel good.
I've held on to this for a few years now. It's a program having to do with the next person that I'm going to introduce you to. He is the only person that I'm talking about today that I actually never got to meet. But you're about to find out why he's still one of our favorite people.
Oh, I see him a lot. He walks the streets all the time.
Pretty much everybody in town probably knows who he is.
Here comes John. They say, "Oh, John is on his way."
People in Waverly can't remember a time when they didn't see John L. Mays out walking every morning.
All my life. I'm 73.
A man with autism. People see him passing the storefronts, the dewdrop fences, walking his route.
He goes from one end of town, plumb down the other end of town.
Visit people at the hospital, the nursing homes.
Then there are the many, many stops here. the Humphreys County Funeral Home.
I couldn't even begin to even imagine the number of funerals that he's been to here.
Every time somebody passes away here in the city of Waverly, he always there.
A beautiful, beautiful person.
Known in Waverly as the Funeral Man. People remember when John L. took a seat in here on their family's hardest days.
My sister in 2013.
I had my aunt, she passed away.
Yeah, my father.
That my family member was special enough to come and pay his respects, that's just a very, very big blessing to me.
But today, John L., the Funeral Man, isn't out on that daily walk. John L.'s passed away at 89 years old.
I don't know what's going to take place because he's gone, you know.
But after he attended all the funerals here for all those decades, Waverly believes it's time to repay the Funeral Man.
The whole town has chipped in, helped John, buried John. We're taking care of this man.
There are hardly enough pages to contain all the guests. Standing room only.
All I can say about my brother, he touched everyone's heart. Everyone.
As children, some taunted John L. But then as the children grew up, they began to respect him. They began to honor him. We all say we could be just like him, we'd be better off. I don't think any of us can come close, but I think that's what we should strive for.
With Waverly watching, John L., the Funeral Man, goes on his route one last time.
Ain't gonna be another man like him. You know what I'm saying?
We know that John's in a better place. Just makes me want to go there more, knowing John's going to be there.
No question, in Music City, the guitar is king. But you don't need 6 strings in order to make music that moves people. In fact, some would say you might not need instruments at all.
1, 2, 3.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. And when the
It's morning in Music City. That a cappella isn't coming from any of the stages past that skyline.
You just remember what your old pal said. Boy, you got a friend in me.
It's a show on tour, traveling room to room at the Children's Hospital at TriStar Centennial.
A friend in me. You got a friend in me.
Among the singers and scrubs, there's an accounting professor, furniture manufacturer rep, a chiropractor. And then there's Wayne Jackson. Here today, a Department of Defense retiree and barbershopper.
I'm sitting on top of the world. Rolling along. Rolling along.
He heard about the Music Medics, a barbershop harmony society program across the country, where barbershoppers visit children's hospitals.
You know, every time I try to eat healthy, a Snickers bar just laughs at me.
All that hard work and we end on it.
Like to see their faces light up, to see their parents' faces light up. We're bringing happiness to these kids, just to get them to laugh and to get some relief.
We appreciate you letting us sing to you, Abe, and we hope you get real better relief.
It's in those personal little shows the Music Medics meet people like Mom Tiffany Brown and Zoe.
Zoe has cerebral palsy and epilepsy. She got very sick last summer. She had pancreatitis.
Because of that, Tiffany and Zoe have spent many weeks this year at the hospital.
This time she's really not been herself at all. She's just not feeling very well.
Got a special song for you, Zoe. It's called the Zoe Song. You ready?
Zoe, we love you. Zoe, we love you. love you in the spring and in the fall. Zoe, we love you. Zoe, we love you. Love you best of all.
That was the first time I've seen her giggle like that since she's been so sick. That was like a glimpse of the real Zoe. So.
1, 2, 3.
But you can't beat that familiar encore song that always gets a smile.
You've got a friend in me.
A song just for Drew, Aiden, Jackson, Zoe. New friends.
Just about every man goes out and sings with the medics feels that sense of pride. This is the best thing they've ever done in barbershop.
Just to see her happy is just, that meant a lot. It was just amazing.
'Cause you've got a friend in me. Doo-be-doo-wop. Excuse you.
Taking a step away from downtown to visit Jefferson Street. This is an area where art tells stories, tells history, and also highlights controversies. It's through art. We're going to introduce you to another two of our favorite people.
And we're
Pulling from the blues, from the oranges. Artist Omari Booker tells stories on canvas of North Nashville, of Jefferson Street.
As an artist, you just have your eyes open and you're looking at what's going on around you.
And there's a lot to see. A jam session at Jefferson Street Sound. A chessboard set up at Headliner's Barbershop. The old clubs played host to the greats, Little Richard, B.B. King, Jimi Hendrix, Ike, and Tina Turner.
Yeah, I hope to be able to kind of paint the way that I see it. That's colorful and energetic, a lot of love. It's a very special place.
But for a sense of true history in his storytelling, Omari knew he'd have to find someone with deep family ties to Jefferson Street.
I am fourth generation of family that has lived here. Our great-grandparents purchased it in 1920, 2518 Jefferson Street.
Elois Freeman remembers a very different Jefferson Street from her childhood.
There was a drugstore at one point, hardware store, your movie theater, everything. We had the self-contained community, especially in a segregated world.
Well, it used to be quieter.
The memories tend to come flooding back, sharing a porch with Martin Harris.
Lois is my sister, older sister.
They were young children during the Nashville sit-ins when people worked to end the segregation of lunch counters downtown. Some of those sit-ins were planned from inside the homes on Jefferson Street.
The elders in the neighborhood are the ones that have experienced it in a really, really visceral way. As younger people, it's our job to listen and continue to tell that story.
But what changed Elois and Barton's world came with the arrival of I-40.
It split the African-American black community up.
Separated us from our schools.
At that time, you felt it, that you're disregarded, that you're being attacked.
Today, Elois still sees barbershops, beauty shops, schools, and education. But her neighborhood, as she knows it, is changing again.
That progress means pushing some out. The people who've been here, who've had the heritage, that's your wealth. That's your wealth. That's your wealth.
The offers have been coming in to buy up 2518 Jefferson Street.
Everything's not about money. It's about your soul. It's about your family. There are many who are saying no. And so we're amongst those.
And in that, Omari found a story to tell and had an opportunity for it to be seen by many. An exhibit at the Frist Art Museum shares murals of North Nashville artists. Omari's piece is created of razor wire, of building materials, and features a familiar face sitting on a porch.
I'm usually inspired to try to tell some story that will help push community forward. So So yeah, gentrification ended up being that issue.
In the midst of all the social changes, economic changes, this house represents stability.
Andy Lois says that light will stay on here at 2518 Jefferson Street.
And we're
That was a gift to me, and she is a gift to all of Nashville. I'm grateful.
we rise, we still rise.
It's gonna be okay. That's the message of this mural over here on Charlotte. It's also the message of the next one of our favorite people. It's a story that starts out on lanes. Oh, not this kind of lanes. This kind.
Flooring. 10-year-old Braylon Wilson's holding tight. Aunt Jessie Price has got this.
He and I have just kind of always had a particular bond. He calls me Aunt Pudding.
We do have lots of fun together. We win.
Hold up, number one.
Braylon's got big ambitions.
I'm gonna be the best bowler in the world. At least I tried.
But when you miss, you go again.
Yeah. No one underestimates me.
It's one of the lessons he picked up from that aunt who's here now. Just like she's always been there.
She's always been cheering me on.
But Braylon knows it's been a hard year for Aunt Pudding.
I dropped between like 20 and 30 pounds. Because of that weight loss, I noticed a lump. I wouldn't have noticed the tumor had I not lost so much weight.
We're just trying to keep our spirits up.
But Braylon and Aunt Pudding aren't alone here today.
Push.
Not at all. Family and friends are bringing love, joy, pulling together to raise money for Jessie's breast cancer treatment.
See, I'm warming up my shoulder. When it happens, I'm warming up my skill.
Braylon knew there must be something he could do for his Aunt Pudding.
It's important they know that you still love them, no matter how hard their disease is or sickness.
You know, he knew that I would lose my hair.
I said, I'm gonna cut my hair off for you.
This box will hold Braylon's hair as it's sent off to be made into a wig. Just for Aunt Pudding.
Ready? There's one. What is that?
It's a gift.
It's a bracelet that says you were strong, you were brave, you've got this. In my family, there's no option but to fight. You have a good heart, Braylon. You know that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Not a lot of people would do that, what you're doing for me. The pride that I have in him and the love that I have for that little kid is just out of this world, to say the least. He's a great kid. There should be more of him.
We love these places where you can walk in and find just about anything. We're at Cool Stuff, Weird Things. We've got Beetlejuice, we've got Pee-wee, we've got Olivia Newton-John. And all this stuff is just waiting to find a home. And the last of our favorite people we're going to introduce you today are connected to a place a lot like this one, though a few miles away from Nashville.
Pretty much every time I come to Smithville, I always stop at this place.
At Pettico's New and Used, there's vintage Mickey and Minnie, Miss Pac-Man, life-sized Wizard of Oz mannequins at a tea party. Because, why not?
They usually have a nice variety of the vintage stuff. Of course, they got a nice collection of records, too, and I'm always looking for those. Sean Cassidy.
Brandon Phillips is drawn to that pop culture maelstrom.
Looking for, of course, the jackpots, like a Beatles or Zeppelin or something. Jerry Lee Lewis, it's not too bad.
But standing at the register after his last scouring of the record stack, Brandon spotted something. Something with a far deeper meaning than the usual bits of 60s, 70s, 80s nostalgia.
There's the medals, and I noticed there was a Purple Heart on it. Kind of hard to believe that, that would end up here.
At the center was a picture of a soldier who served in World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War. The board told his story. His name handwritten, Captain Douglas Hancock.
He's a hero. A piece like that, there's really no price on it. It's priceless.
He took to Facebook and veterans pages with the message, "I need your help." He didn't think it'd be easy. Within hours, the message had been shared by hundreds, the effort leading him to a home in Laverne. A home that belongs to Dolores Hancock Sparks.
Hello, Dolores.
Yes.
Got something for you.
Yes, you do. Oh, wow.
Captain Hancock's daughter.
Thank you so much. Let me shake your hand and give you a hug. Oh, my God. This was a project that my mother and I did for my father. My father died in 2001. I lost it in storage in 2003. I never thought that I'd see it again. I never thought, and I spent many sleepless nights, wondering and agonizing over the fact that I lost it.
Brandon and Dolores say they've learned together that sometimes in the most unexpected places, you can find something that means the world to someone.
For someone to find it after all these years, it's a good cry. It's a great cry. Not getting out of my sight again.
Today, we wanted to pay tribute to people like Brandon and Dolores, Elois and Amari, the music medics, Braylon and Aunt Pudding, Glenn, John L.
I'm Forrest Sanders. Thanks for coming along to meet just a few of our favorite people.